The CZ P10C, let's check it out. CZ is known for its really high quality firearms, making some of the best firearms in the world. Back in 1975, when the CZ75 came out, it was unsurpassed in ergonomics, and with the internal slide rails, it just lended to low recoil and great accuracy. And that pistol is still very popular today. In fact, one of the most popular handguns in the world. Since that time, CZ has designed a lot of different really good quality firearms and upgraded the CZ75, and then with the P09 and P07, which was a polymer frame pistol, they were just really good designs. But they still lacked really hitting the Strikerfire market. They had an earlier version of a Strikerfire pistol that just wasn't that popular. But the new P10C is just excellent. I have to admit, I was pretty excited when CZ announced the P10C being in a Strikerfire pistol. The one thing about C is that means this is a compact version of a larger pistol that I guess they have on the drawing board. I'm really hoping they'll come out with a subcompact in the near future. But this is a great in-between size where it's one of those you can carry for home defense or as a concealed carry. And this is not, though, CZ's first Strikerfire pistol. The CZ100 back in the mid-90s was introduced, and it hung around for a while and then was discontinued. Not really sure what all the situation was, but the P10C really gets close to the CZ75 as far as ergonomics, and that's really a big thing. And when you put this gun in your hand, it just feels like home. Feels like the CZ75. Makes a really nice polymer frame. Now this one is in the FDE or tan. They do have obviously a black version, and we have 15-in-1 in the magazine. You do get 2 steel magazines. But before we get started, let's go ahead and check, make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. Magazine release right here. It is a steel mag release, but what's beautiful is it's ambidextrous, and you're ready to go. And so that really makes it great for left-handed shooters, plus right-handed shooters being able to hit that slide release and to release it. Then we have our slide stop here and on the other side. One of the things I love about this slide stop on the P10C is that it's really close to the frame. With the P07 it was a little bit larger, and so it really kind of, it's one of those things where they're putting controls on the side here and they get large and they add a lot of width to the pistol, and that's one of the things they fixed on this. One thing you'll notice right up front, though, is how high it comes up the beaver tail right here. You actually get your hand under this part of the slide, and it gives you a super low bore axis, which I really love. Now, one of the things about this grip, it's more in the CZ75 profile, and if you've ever held a CZ75, it is one of the most ergonomic pistols on the market, and that's one of the things that CZ really talks about with this design, is that it is super ergonomic. There is a palm swell, just a slight palm swell here, but here and here at the top, when you grip it, it kind of brings that together. Your thumb rests in this little area right here. Your pinky, when it comes around, this is narrowed down, so it gives you just a really great feel. The texturing on here has kind of some little pyramid shapes, and it is aggressive, but yet it's not painful when you're shooting. but you really know that you've got a solid grip on this pistol. A lot of times I'll put Talon grips on pistols. I don't really think I'm going to put Talon grips on this one, just because of the way this grip fits together. Now the ones on the side are a little bit muted compared to the front and back, but honestly, front and back is where you grip, not on the side, and that gives you the grip that you need, and it holds in the hand. One thing too is they've brought the trigger guard right here. They've relieved it up to allow your hand to get up closer onto the pistol. And one of the things I do to all my Glocks is I'll trim this area right in here just to allow my hand to get up a little bit more. It's already been done. With the trigger guard, it is square and it's enlarged for gloved hands. It does have an accessory rail here. There's also texturing right here where you can rest your finger. It's a natural place to keep your finger out of the trigger guard when you're not shooting, and it gives you a little bit of a reminder. I like that. The slide has a black nitride finish on it, which is really smooth. You see you have front cocking serrations as well as rear. These are fairly widely spaced, so when you grab hold of it, it's a very comfortable grip. There are times where you can grab some slides and it can be a little rough, but it gives you a very positive grip on the slide. You will notice that there is a bevel that just is shaved off, and it's kind of at an angle where it starts here and then it just widens out as it gets down toward the muzzle. That's going to really make this even more pointable. It takes a lot of the weight off the front of the slide and gives you a little bit better balance. The sights are a 3-dot sight. They are, I believe, are luminescent, not night sights. And these have a little cocking shelf right here. And I'm sure there'll be aftermarket replacements for these, but they are steel, which makes it much better than, you know, the polymer sights. The barrel is just over 4 inches at 4.02 inches. It is a cold hammer forged barrel, which is going to give you a lot of extended life. Now here at the mag well, there's a little bit of an indention right here, and this is really for double feeds. One of the problems is when you have a double feed and it's jammed, and it jams the magazine in. And so with this, you can actually grab it and rip it out. And we have CZ P10C 9x19, and again, they are going to make a 40 caliber version. Now the magazines are the same profile as the P07. The only difference is there's a little cut right here for the ambidextrous magazine release that's not in the standard P07 magazines. And I believe there are plans that any future P07 magazines are going to have that cut. So you can use the P10C magazines in a P07, but you can't use the P07 magazines in a P10, unless you want to mill out that little area. And the weight of the P10C, 25.7 ounces. And one of the things I love about this pistol, I think, as much as the ergonomics, is the trigger pull. And we're going to take a look at the trigger pull. Of course, the gun is unloaded. We're going to press. Now right here, it's just some rolling. It's not really stacking. There's no real creep. And then a super crisp snap. Now reset. That is beautiful. I mean, it is super quick. It's just such a good crisp trigger. It just makes range time so much better. But right here, there's just some take up, but you can just feel not even hardly some resistance, but you can just feel it. Then you come to a wall and it's a nice crisp snap, no over travel whatsoever. Now let's check the trigger pull weight. 4 pounds, 7.9 ounces, so 4.5 pounds. 4 pounds, 10 ounces. 4 pounds, 10 ounces. So about 4.5, just a touch over 4.5 pounds, compared to Glocks, which are about 5.5 pounds from the factory. Now I have my Walther PPQ out here, and this has one of the best triggers on the market, factory triggers. First thing we'll do is make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. And then we have our CZ. Okay. Now with the PPQ, you can hear it. Just a little bit of, I wouldn't really say creep, but just you can feel the trigger bar moving. You can feel a little bit of the interior. And then a nice crisp snap. With the CZ, much smoother, much smoother. And a very crisp snap. I'm going to try these side by side. Oh, this is so much smoother right here than the Walther. I'm gonna tell you what, guys, and I've shot this PPQ quite a bit. I probably put about 800 rounds through this pistol. I've only put about 300 rounds now through the P10C. But I would say that this is a better trigger than the PPQ. And that's just side by side right here. Let's try it again. Just a lot more going on before you hit the brake. Yeah, hands down. I know I'm going to catch a lot of grief for this, but the P10C is definitely a better trigger. That is impressive. Okay, let's check our trigger pull on the Walther. 4 pounds 14 ounces. 5 pounds 1 ounce. 5 pounds 15 ounces. So we're going about right at the 5 pound mark, just under, and we're going just over the 4.5 pounds. So you've got a lighter trigger pull on the P10C, and I'm telling you guys, you can put them side by side, but the P10C is a better trigger. Now here we have a Glock 19 next to the P10C. You can see it this way. The Glock looks like it may be just a little bit shorter right here, but maybe by about 1/8 of an inch. Now as far as your profile goes here, of course you have your finger grooves on your Glock, but the Glock has a thicker area right up here where the CZ really comes down low. So you don't have as much of a dip right here that you do on the CZ, and then you have more of a bumping out that you don't have of the CZ here. Now as far as the bore axis goes, this is very even. The CZ sights are a little bit higher, but these are true glow sights. You could probably get some sights that ride a little bit lower if that's what you want, but it's not really going to change the bore axis. It's still very low here, very comparable. Now I did a measurement of each slide, and they're exactly the same width here. But one of the things that the Glock does, which a lot of people don't notice, is that the slide actually, or the frame actually comes out a little bit, which makes the Glock 19 a little thicker in the frame than the CZ. The CZ is very flush pretty much with the slide, and we checked it. It's definitely thicker on the Glock. The grip is just a little bit longer here. The CZ kind of comes down and shrouds the back of the magazine, but here you can see just a little bit of difference. But guys, seriously, they're both 15-in-1. They're both pretty much the same size. I do find that the CZ P10 grip is much better than the Glock grip. One of the things about the Glock, and I've shot Glocks for many years, and I really like Glock, but they can feel a little bit thick. With the P10, yeah, there's no way. That is just so, feels so good in the hand. Now, and that's with the Talon grips, which to me make it very comfortable. But this really has a super ergonomic grip. Now we're heading out to the range. We're going to load up some magazines with Freedom Munitions, 115 grain full metal jacket, and some of their Pro Match. And we're using these G-code bang boxes. Good Lord, son, that is just sweet. Absolutely. I shoot a lot of guns, man. That's just
that trigger and that reset. It's accurate. It's not bad.
We were shooting Freedom Munitions 115 grain Pro Match and shooting it in just one jagged hole. It was really easy to get this just right back on target. The trigger on this gun is just excellent, and you can tell it at the range. The reset is so short. But not only that, because how high this comes up in the back, you really get your hand really high up on the pistol. And two, very thin. Everything's very thin, very similar to the way the Glock is as far as thinness, but honestly to me that's where it stops. It's very well balanced, it points very well. There's just something about how this comes up in the back that it really just nestles in your hand. And the recoil on it, it just shoots flat. I would really love to see a subcompact in this. This would be excellent. I would love to carry this in a subcompact form. Just to give you an idea of how naturally this gun points, everything is just in one vertical line. A couple of flyers over here, but I was shooting really rapidly and hitting that steel right dead center. And a big thanks to shootsteel.com. Nothing better than shooting steel on the range. Now we're going to disassemble the pistol. Let's go ahead and take our magazine out. Chamber's empty. One of the things we need to do is pull the trigger, and you're going to notice, very familiar if you're a Glock owner, these little takedown tabs. So just pull it down, bring the tabs down, and the slide comes right off. Take out your recoil spring, your barrel, and your slide, and your field stripped. Now here's the interior of the P10C. The locking block is really large and actually is connected to the rails. And then of course here, it is a little bit different in design than the Glock. I haven't taken a lot of detailed look into the interior, just a glance. Now the interior of the slide, we see there's no firing pin safety here. It's actually right here. And to remove this, you have to unloosen this to get the striker out. But very close in design, but yet a lot of differences. Here I want to show you the difference with the locking block. The Glock locking block here, and then you have your slide rails ahead, much larger on the P10C. Then here you can see it's a very different design inside right here. But one thing I noticed right up front disassembling the pistol is how thick the barrel lugs are. I mean, they are solid, wide, very wide. There's much more support here at the chamber than there is on the Glock. Here on the CZ is a much bigger shelf on the feed ramp. So now we're going to reassemble the pistol. Drop in our barrel, recoil spring, guide rod. One of the things that is a departure though from the traditional CZ designs is there's no internal slide rails. This is the regular Strikerfire slide rails built into the frame like you've seen. It does come in a nice box. One of the things about CZ is it has two here, and then you have a little area you push down to get it open. Close foam padding, it's closed in. Great place to set your pistol. Again, you get your extra magazine, get your extra back straps, and you get a small little Allen key. Bore brush, cleaning rod, and you get your owner's manual. One thing I did notice, and it may be because this is a T&E gun, that it did not come with a gun lock. Now the retail price for the CZ P10C is $499 for the 9mm. For the 40 Smith & Wesson, I think it's going to run $516. Street price is, remains to be seen, but we're probably looking at about $425 to $450. Pros and cons of the pistol: ergonomics are fantastic. Trigger is one of the best triggers on the market, if not the best. CZ quality, ambidextrous controls throughout, and the price is probably going to come in $450 or less. So that's really a great price for a premium quality pistol. As far as cons go, really, I kind of looked it over. I thought a lot about it. The only thing that I thought is the mag release, not on your thumb, it can come right out. But if you wanted to manipulate it with this, with your trigger finger, it's a little bit harder to get it to pop out. And the more I've used it though, the easier it is. There was a time there where I really had a hard time with it, so that might just settle in as well. But I don't know, guys. This gun to me is, I've been more excited about this gun than I have in another gun in a long time. I mean, there have been some great guns that have come through here, and there's some really high quality firearms. But this one really has kind of tripped my trigger. Now, one thing I do want to say is, and just like I've been saying on my videos, you know, don't take my word for it. All this is just what I feel, what I see, and my experience with it. There are going to be other reviews out there that you need to check into, see what they're saying, and you know, get a good consensus. And then, even then, go to your local gun shop, take this and put it next to a pistol that you really like, and check the ergonomics of the pistol, check the pointability, the balance, and see if it appeals to you. No one pistol is going to appeal to everybody, and that's just what makes it so great, because there's a lot of great offerings. But you know, again, CZ's not paying me to do this. They did send the pistol as a T&E, and I'm excited to get it. If I don't like it, then why would I want to keep it? So because I've been so glowing, especially with this review, and I just think the pistol's excellent. And one thing I did fail to mention is that these will fit in your standard Glock holsters, your Glock 19 holster. So finding a good holster for this pistol, you don't have to wait until the market comes around. They're already out there, and if you have a Glock 19 already, then you'll be able to fit that very easily. Oh yeah, Jackson Leatherwork, thumbs way up. Now, the time this video is being released, this gun is not yet available. It's only been brought in just a small number to get them out to reviewers and let them test them out. So hop over to the Military Arms channel. Tim does a great job of the review on this pistol. Plus, he ended up getting to go to Czech and went to the CZ factory and did some initial testing before the gun was even brought into the US. And so these are excellent. I'm telling you guys, you put one in your hand, the ergonomics, the trigger, just the smoothness of this pistol, to me, is one of the best on the market. And I have a feeling that the price is going to be super competitive and keep Glock running on their toes. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Their new Strikerfire pistol, the PT10 CZ. It's the CP, and that's no different than the CP, and that's no different than the C10. CZ has made a number of different pistols, but this is the first one that they've. But another great plus is that these will fit into any of your Glock magazines, your 19 magazines. This will fit just right in there, the same. So there's going to be magazines. Okay. Fellow shooter, I'm glad somebody else is shooting this place up. Oh yeah.